Hey, hi, everyone. We are back with one more review. And hey, Joel, how are you, dude?
Hey man, I'm good. I wasn't here for this race, so you're gonna have to lead me through what happens here.
Oh, yeah, Nama Nandi race. Yes, yes. This is its third edition, and this time there's no Nandi involved. It's only a flat course on the highway. So that's kind of disappointing because I was power to weight ready for this race.
What was the tactic for this one going
Wait,
in?
wait, 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 wait. We missed out on some
Oh,
details.
right.
I have some really interesting things to share.
Okay, let's go back to the start again. This seems to be a habit here that we keep having to go back to the start.
Right, so this is the beginning of the race. The race started after the second toll on the airport road. So the actual distance is around 64 kilometers. That's Sangeeta. That's my bike. That's how the setup looks. And yeah, right there in the front is my bib, which I cut short because it was, look at the actual bibs I saw on Abhiram.
Yep.
These guys need to learn how to
Menu cards, man. Menu
make
cards for
bibs
bibs.
for-
Learn from
yeah,
TMC.
Man. Sure, I don't know where they picked up this habit. Anyway, that's the beginning of the race. We start off. So this race, the idea is pretty simple. As a team, we wanted to keep the pace high, and in the beginning, there's like 3 junctions, so we wanted to go past them really smoothly, right? So my job was to keep the pace really high for the first half of the race, and then all the attacking and all the team dynamics start only after the U-turn. We were going really fast during this time. We were going so fast that our lead vehicles didn't expect us to be coming in at 50-60 k's an hour, and you can see they just get like so close. That's Ben's point of view. So like I was putting like about 270 watts in the front for the 10 minutes, and I went through everybody else who was in my draft, and that's the benefit of draft. They were doing like 200 watts. That's probably close to zone 2.
Another thing about picking up the pace right here at the start is it like eliminates all the non-competitive riders, keeping the guys who actually are racing a little safer, because
Yeah,
when you're
correct.
racing on open roads, having a bunch of people who haven't raced in a peloton before is a little sketchy, because bike handling and learning to hold onto a wheel, predicting what's going to happen, predicting braking, all of that. So it keeps everyone who's competing safe from the quote-unquote amateurs.
After our last race in Kerala, we kind of realized that this is the worst time to have a crash.
Yeah.
Because it's so close to your build towards nationals.
Yeah. And you can see the
that,
guys are like making hand signals, to keep everyone safe.
This is a good example of how Bangalore racing is and how.
Yeah, you're coming up to a traffic signal where it's red, so there's vehicles lined across the road. And if I increase the audio here, you say no attacking, let everybody catch up.
Easy. Let everyone come. Let everyone come.
Like, it's good, clean racing,
Yeah.
unlike what happened in Kerala, man. Yeah.
Well, but sadly, like even after I slowed down and like signaled, a lot of people did get dropped because the train was long.
Right.
I would say single line 25 riders. I think we were the most marked riders.
Yeah.
Both team LBB was super marked. So yeah, Zishan slides off the front. Now Zishan is a Trailblazers rider who's supposed to be riding alone at this point of time, right?
Yeah.
And Imad comes up to me and he's like, "Bro, should I go?" And I say, "No, it's too early now." But he hears
he's
yes
gone.
and he goes anyway. So now at this point in time, I'm like, we're 10 minutes into the race. My teammate has gone ahead. There's another rider with him, which I know both their levels. So I'm pretty sure that Imad has a better engine right now.
Yeah.
Now, as usual, I have to get back to boring tasks, which is just to play super defensive. Yeah, at this point in time, you can see Rudra looking back,
Yeah.
and he is basically signaling all his Velo Studio boys, asking them, where is the chase?
Yeah.
Are we not chasing this?
I mean, yeah, and it's been
And there was no
it's
chase
been
at
30
all.
seconds to a minute since those guys have gone ahead, and nobody's really organized or done anything. So now that gap's just extending, and the further they get out of your eyesight, the less likely anyone is to chase it down. So that opportunity was when
Yeah.
they went, and now it's just like, yeah, nobody's going to be motivated to chase that down now.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess at this point of time, teams should like really. Velo Studio did try coming up to the front. You can see them in white jerseys on the screen. But with 3 guys, I think they could have really organized a chase back. Baba Ankush, who is in the blue jersey, was also trying to like organize a break, telling guys like, "Hey, the race isn't over, you know, and a lot of conversation in the back. You can see people like, when you see people chatting in the back, that's when you know nothing's happening, right? This is where they're trying to organize a chase, decide about what to do. Both Ben and I decided that if there is a chase, we need to shut it down, right, as soon as possible.
Yeah. So anyone who like isn't familiar with racing, I'm just gonna say this one thing. A breakaway is not supposed to stay away. Like, a breakaway is not supposed to stay away. That's not the plan. I mean that is the plan for the breakaway, but for the peloton, it's to keep the distance to the breakaway at a distance that's chaseable towards the end of the race by injecting some pace. So by letting the breakaway draw out to 4-5 minutes, you're just digging yourself a hole.
So what's going on in your head when you go on breakaways?
Oh, in my head, I'm just like, I never get in a breakaway to stay away. I always expect to be caught. And the moment I get caught, one of my teammates goes. That's always the plan. But people like tend to just give up, except for the Kolar Express race, where like a good team got organized. Like Equipe got organized and chased me back.
Yeah.
So that's how you race a breakaway. But what's happening right now, people chilling and talking is not ideal, because
so that's Sangram and
Gaurav, I think.
There's Sangram and Gaurav, and both of them are... So Sangram doesn't want to leave my wheel for
you're going to see a lot of his face on the rear camera of Shaurya, because he just stuck to your wheel like glue.
Yeah, when I watched all of this footage later on, I realized how marked I was, because there have been very explicit signals of staying to my wheel.
Yeah. Every time you pick up the pace, he's there, exactly sitting on your wheel. Injecting a little pace, it keeps the bunch honest, you know.
Here I was trying to do something new. When I don't want people to attack certain segments, I make sure I keep like fake attacking.
Yeah.
So that they are on the edge, but they don't go. They're just marking me instead of them attacking.
Yeah, that's perfect. Like, the best time to attack is when the speed difference is the greatest. So if the peloton is slow, someone can attack and get easy separation. But if you keep the pace high, that speed difference is going to be harder to create, because they have to increase the pace even harder, and at a certain point you could be adding 200-300 watts and only be going like 1 or 2 kilometers an hour faster, because the space is that high. So that's a very good way to prevent attacks from going at certain points, which worked out perfectly. Like, nobody was able to attack a flyover just because you up the pace that much, that little bit more.
That's Vikey Venky sending some love. And we have but that love is balanced by equal feelings of fuck you. So at this point in time, we are 25 kilometers into the race, and the time check we get is close to 2.5 minutes, because you can see like everybody is grouped up together. That's when you know the pace is super slow. You know, when you can see multiple heads in the back of your camera. That's Baba trying to convince Sangram to do something about the race.
And I'm pretty sure Sangram is saying, no, I'm going to stick to Shaurya's wheel, and Baba's like, what's the point of doing that?
These guys have had it's difficult to organize, you know. Everybody's got their individual goals, but it's also important, you know, a group of people have to have a common motive, which is to shut down the brake, because the people in the front, they are determined to work at their FTP at least, you know, in the brake.
The brake is going to be super efficient. It's just going to be over and unders if there's more than one person in the brake.
Yeah, smooth is fast.
Taking a thing out of NorCal cycling, consistency is efficiency. There's another place where you keep up the pace.
At this point in time, I think, so Gaurav basically attacked. Velo Studio was trying.
Okay.
I was kind of happy seeing both Gaurav and Rudra, because so this is where we close in on the U-turn.
Oh, so they attacked into the U-turn, I'm assuming.
He attacked right before the U-turn so that he could take it early, but that was shut down.
Yeah.
And right after the U-turn, so now a lot of you might be wondering why the video is called Gaur Gone Wild. Is that a reference to Imad? But it's actually not.
If you can.
So right after the U-turn, the peloton, everybody raises their hands and the peloton slows, and there's like huge honking. And we're like, what is happening at this point in time? And then you see a massive bull running wild on a national highway on both sides of the road. And that was quite a scary moment. And then he ran over to the other side.
Yeah, he just hopped the median. And here we get a little time check from Sangeeta with Imad and Zishan. And at this point, she calls out 5 minutes, which I don't think it was the case. I think it was about 3.5 to 4 minutes. But, you know,
3.5-ish, right?
Yeah. So it's good to encourage the breakaway.
That's like a good place. Right.
And here you
Correct.
start picking up
So
the
here
pace.
I'm-
A little bit, just to keep everyone honest. And, everybody panics. You can see everyone spread out across the road trying to hop onto your wheel. The panic is setting in. Oh, they've crossed the U-turn. Only 20k to go.
Yeah.
And then right here, I think is when you make that final dig, biking up to 1,000 watts. Look at the speed difference instantly created, and everyone's battling. Only person who can stick to your wheel is Sangram, and I think he switches to
Sangram
another
was-
level to even stick onto this, because we very soon see what exactly it takes out of him. At this point, you tell him, "I'm not dragging you to the line."
I told him I'm not Kavi, dude. So you really need to take a pull if you want to make this happen.
Okay, so just watch Sangram carefully. His head's down. He has no idea what's happening, and he almost
that's
goes
when you
into
know the guy is at his limit. And but that break gets caught up because Velo Studio organized themselves trying to catch me. Abhiram is trying to catch me from Veloscope. The moment they catch me, I launch another attack, and that's like a 900 wattish. It's not too high, but I would say my idea is to drain the guys. And by this time, I know that Rudra is very determined to catch me. So what I do is, the moment Rudra catches me, I tell him, okay, so
wait, before you go there, I'm just gonna make a thing. There's a white jersey chasing you back. So you're with Rudra right now, and I'm pretty sure that white jersey is Velo Studio, teammate of Rudra. And Rudra turns back now, looks at who's chasing, and he's like, "What the fuck, man?" See, it sounds familiar.
I
doesn't it,
wonder
Shaurya?
where we've seen
I
this
wonder
before.
who did this.
So yeah, at this point in time, there's a crosswind, right? The sheltered side is on my left side. So after watching all of this video, I realized that on a crosswind section, if you want to drop a person, you can actually gutter them.
Yeah. No, but the thing is, I'm going to pause here. So now that Gaurav has closed the gap to you and Rudra, you have now no obligation to work because it's 2 against 1. So you immediately stop. And at this point, Gaurav's just brought the whole peloton back, which is perfect for if you had more than 2 teammates for another teammate to launch a counter-attack. But some reason you were on some other level of form because you were the one counter-attacking your attacks. So
Yeah.
that's pretty impressive in itself, which is exactly what happens now. And Rudra is caught napping, and now he has to.
So I kind of know, the moment people catch an attack, they kind of are relieved. Now they're like, now we know there's not going to be another attack. That's where you catch them by surprise and you send one more. And probably a tactic which smaller teams should be using against bigger teams. Always take a rider from the bigger team, because that's going to make sure that that bigger team is not chasing you down if they play it well.
Nobody from LBB is going to chase this. Nobody from Velo Studio is going to chase this. So
Imad apparently dropped Zishan with 10 kilometers to go, which I was really happy about, because that was the best way to play it, to not take the rider with you. And so Imad finishes first, Zishan finishes second.
And then I think you give Rudra the sprint.
I kind of wasn't interested in getting a podium this race. I know it sounds cocky, but I was like, no, I don't want it. I don't want it bad enough to contest a sprint. Also, kudos to Rudra, I was on all flyovers, I was at least 7 to 8 watts per kilo, which for me is okay, but for him it's a lot of wattage to put. So he really deserved this win.
Anyway, if you like this content, please do share it, like it, comment, subscribe, and everything
and turn
else.
up for these races so that you can get some footage.
Some screen time like Sangram here. Ciao.